So you just watched the episode of Basketball Wives where there was a physical altercation between a mother and her adult daughter. So, first of all, take a breath because that can be a triggering thing to witness and it can be very upsetting to watch. So, if you haven't done something yet to be able to regulate, now would be a good time to take a breath and to just decompress from witnessing that event. What I'd like to do in this episode is to just unpack that in terms of what are the three lessons learned from the episode. Now, I will not be analyzing the mother and the daughter because I don't know them. And out of respect for them both, I will not provide an analysis of them. What I will do is provide what we can learn from what happened in that particular episode. So, number one, we learned that violence of any kind is not the appropriate response on either part, either the parent or the adult child, to resolve an issue. It only makes things worse. So that's the first thing. Secondly, if you are wounded or have issues with your parent, the first thing that would be helpful is to unpack that, to figure out what your needs are and how this may have impacted your life. And the appropriate setting for that is typically with a trained professional, someone who understands how to support you in doing that so that you can get the emotional and psychological safety you need in order to figure out what it is that you need in your life. Now, I know there's a trend of no contact, no contact, no contact. And that is appropriate for some people, but it is not always the right answer for people because sometimes they still don't get what they need from not having contact and they don't get the ability to figure out what resolution looks like for them. So that's something that you can discuss and figure out with your individual therapist. So, lesson two from this episode is that we learn that if you really want to have the conversation, have the conversation. And the best way to do that is with a trained professional that knows how to support families. And so that's typically with a family therapist that can create an environment so that people are able to be heard and their needs are able to be expressed. And so that creates some sense of structure so that things don't escalate the way we saw it escalate in this video. And then number three is be careful who you take advice from, right? When you are interacting with your friend group or your support system, because they may be projecting their own experiences onto your relationships. And so you want to be careful that you are sharing things and receiving feedback and support and opinions from people that actually have your best interest at heart and that care about you over the long term and that will support you in making healthy choices for your life. And so those are really the three really big lessons learned from this particular episode. Remember, protect your peace and thank you for watching.